If you see to the chat box as you're getting onto Zoom right now, everyone, just notice that if you're new to Zoom, there's a mute button. There's a video where if you have a camera, you could show your face if you chose to do so. Also, you can see the amount of participants that are participating today. And then also, please feel free to use the chat box today. That's what we're going to be utilizing throughout this presentation. So any questions you may have, go ahead and write it in to the chat box as we're going through each slide. And if you have a piece of paper, go ahead and write notes as we're moving forward. As you can see, our first slide says careeredgeeasttech.com. That's going to be what we're working in today. So go ahead and jot down that website so we can get started. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward with our presentation today. I'm so thankful each and every one of you have set aside time to join us today. We're so thankful. I know our team has worked hard in gathering content to bring to you in a virtual sense. And we're just thankful for the opportunity to still engage with our job seekers and provide ways for you to still move forward and gaining those employable skills and things like this with the resume. It's very vital right now. And as you can see, today's webinar is going to be over branding. We're going to talk about creating professional branding through our Career Edge website. And we're also going to be in the resume builder. My name is Cammie Thompson. I'm a facilitator with Workforce Solutions out of our Longview, Texas office. So individuals all over could be participating here, but we represent our East Texas area. So if anyone ever had any questions, we're going to have contact information towards the end of this. That way, especially as we're serving customers in a virtual sense, we're able to email and call and be able to provide that type of assistance with any questions you may have. But like I said, go ahead and utilize this chat box and then we can move forward. So let's start with Career Edge Resume Builder. Okay. We always like our individuals to know what our mission statement is. I want to verify, okay, I am off mute. Okay, I just got nervous there for a second thinking I wasn't on mute. All right, okay, our mission statement is, as a Workforce Solutions East Texas board, is to improve the quality of life in this area through economic development by providing a first-class workforce for present and future businesses. We don't want to be second class. We don't want to be third class. Our goal is to constantly be moving forward in a first class mind frame. And we want to, despite everything and the craziness in the world today, our goal is to still develop our economy. Us as a workforce office, we are constantly trying to keep up with the times and improve the quality of each of these for not only our job seeker, but the employers as well. So that our mission statement still remains the same. Okay. Today, our learning objectives are going to be very simple. Today, you're going to learn what exactly a resume is and its purpose. The purpose of a resume is very important, especially in today's age. It's very necessary to have a resume. And then also you will learn how to build the resume using careeredgeeasttech.com. This is a great tool source for all sorts of things. We had our facilitator, Tony Jones, do an introduction in Career Edge. He was able to move everyone through all parts and the tools and modules and different aspects of it. But today we're going to focus on the resume builder. A lot of times people get frustrated with thinking about even creating a resume. Their mind immediately stops. But this allows us to use a very simple tool to, in about, maybe 20 minutes, if you knew your information offhand, you could have a resume built and you could be ready to move forward and apply for jobs. So let's go ahead and get started. What is a resume? Hopefully we all know what it is, but let's go ahead and digest it a little bit. A resume is a digest of your qualifications that inform your employer of 5 things: who you are, what you know, what you have done, and what you would like to do, and how you can benefit the employer. That's exactly what the resume entails. By definition, resume is the primary written vehicle of a productive and successful search. You must develop your ultimate career objective in language that can be effectively communicated. It also requires you to access your previous training, experience, skills, abilities, and other characteristics that qualify you for a certain position. In short, the resume must tell the employer what position you seek and what you have to offer. So, what is the purpose of a resume? It is a tool, and you're selling yourself. If you didn't think you were an individual who was a salesman, you are a salesman. Especially if you're seeking employment, you become a salesman because you're trying to sell yourself. It is a tool that provides information about you that you want employers to know. And it emphasizes all of your personal qualities and those employable skills that are emphasized in specific job postings. So hopefully you will know exactly what a resume is. Oftentimes people wonder, should I have the resume if I already have the same information being put in a job application? A job application is very generic. All of us could go grab one, but the resume is going to cater directly to who you are and what you have to offer an employer. So build a resume, it has your name on it, it reflects who you are, and that's what we want. We want to reflect what the employer wants and who you are in the resume. So let's go ahead and get started immediately showing you Career Edge website. So if you were to type in a Career Edge web address, this first page would go ahead and populate. As you can see, you can immediately, if you've never touched Career Edge before, all you have to do is press the green button where it says register here. It's going to ask you some generic questions. It's nothing dramatic. Then eventually you will log in using an email and a password. So just remember those 2 things, and then you can log in each time, and then all of your information will show up. Like we said, they discussed Career Edge yesterday, but as you can see, there's so many tools. If you hadn't filled out a job application a long time, there's a mock job application. There's the portfolio that's going to have all of your professional branded information in it. And that's what this website can do for you. It's free to use, it's easy, and it assists all job seekers at all walks of life. So let's go ahead and move forward as if we put our email and password in it. So this is what the Career Edge homepage looks like. Our resume builder, which is exactly what we're going to be using today, that's what we're going to press, is the green box. The modules at the bottom, as you can see, those are free for you to use too, and then different aspects. There's workbooks involved with each of these things. Even the resume builder has a workbook part as well that that really brings home the professional branding aspect of the resume. And so let's go ahead and build our resume. All right. So the resume builder, as you can see here, there is a video that you could play. Each section for the resume builder is going to have a video with an individual guiding you with what each section represents. That way you're not lost, you feel guided, you're not overwhelmed with anything. And so they're assisting you with every step of the way. All you have to do now is to create a new resume and press the blue button to the right, and then you will set a profile. And what's nice about the resume builder is it can keep several resumes. So if you're an individual who has several skill sets, but you're interested in just, kind of creating different types of resumes, you might have different avenues on employable opportunities. So you can create, like, if you were involved with customer service, or if you were involved with equipment operating or maintenance or something like that, you had several avenues, you could create different resumes. And so I went ahead and created this one and just set it as my name. And then you could access it each time you pull up your resume builder. All right. So it's building time. This is the first step. We go ahead and name the resume. A lot of times you can name it for that job. So this individual, they are looking for a customer service type job. And so the type of resume we're creating is a customer service resume. As you can tell, I'm trying to inform you that every job posting is going to be what entails what this resume has. It's simple, and the resume needs to be touched every time you read a job posting. So we want what the job posting and the employer wants. We want all of those keywords and skills and aspects of the job to be reflected in our resume. And so that's what we're going to show you today. As you can see here, it says choose your program. I chose general skills because across the board, that's going to approach all different job seekers. It's going to entail different skills. You're going to see at a later function where you can add skills and knowledge. This is where the website can help you, especially if you're wondering about certain skills. They can help you with adding those certain skills to your program. Now, if you were to hit the drop-down box, you could navigate all sorts of industries. So a medical industry, a oil field industry, equipment operating, manufacturing industry, those are all going to represent certain skill sets. And so you would find that under program. So program, even though it says program, it's just going to be your industry or your occupation, and then the skills involved with it. So now we're going to choose the type of resume that we would like to start building. There are different types of resumes, and it's very important to indicate which resume works best for you. There's a chronological version and a functional version of a resume. Chronological, this is going to be for individuals who want to showcase their work experience. Chronological resumes normally are traditional in format. They're easy to follow. It lists and describes work experience by company. Education and experience are always listed in reverse. So the order, it begins with most recent job, and the skills and abilities should be directed to the position. So chronological is usually going to be that individual who has honed a skill, they went to school for it, they've built their career by company and kind of built themselves up and have an organized time frame. And that would be the chronological. They're looking at work experience. However, you have the functional resume. That would be maybe an individual that's just trying to search for an entry-level career. The functional is usually a skill-based resume. They're trying to group their accomplishments. It's usually focusing on skills and abilities, and it often omits employers and job titles because they might have a spotty work history. They might be involved with different types of jobs, and it doesn't look as organized if it were to be in chronological order. An employer probably wouldn't want to see different types of industries represented on one resume. So for these individuals, it's usually limited experience, and it might be for people with gaps in employment. So for this instance, a lot of times job seekers have just built up their skill. So we're going to develop a functional resume today under customer service. All right. So here to the right, it shows you a color-coded block form of each section that the resume is going to be built in. There's a start, an edit, and a download. So it's very organized and simple to follow. So we're in 5 parts. The first part is going to be the About You section. This is going to contain contact information. The second part is going to be your summarization. So that's going to be your objective on the type of employment you're seeking. Education, this will include your trade or degrees. And then work experience, this will have skills or like past jobs. And then the 5th section incorporates three different sections: certifications, license, and volunteering. So maybe you took an OSHA class, or maybe you have a CDL driver's license. Maybe you're a licensed vocational nurse. Maybe you've obtained QuickBooks, have some Microsoft Office software knowledge, things like that. This is where you would want to incorporate these things. And also it's important, especially in this time, it's a good time to get organized on the previous knowledge and previous things gained, maybe on the job or just maybe in school or things like that. So it's very important to just gather all of our accomplishments, all of our items, to be able to not be overwhelmed once we sit down to input this information. So just keep that in mind. Keep a document somewhere that has all this information that you can access easily. All right, so let's get started at looking at each section. Is there any questions so far? I'm going to look at the chat really quick. Feel free to put anything in the chat. So do you not want to put all your work experience in your resume? It's just depending on the job posting, and that's what I'm always move towards. So it really does just depend on the job posting. A lot of times an individual wants you to have maybe 10 years at least of experience, but I know a lot of individuals were working at a certain job for 20 plus years. So that's that skill experience right there. So it really is dependent on that job posting, what exactly they're looking for. And then that'll allow you to know how much work experience to put. So hopefully that answered your question, Mr. Paul. So here's the About You section. And feel free to interject any chat. Feel free to ask questions throughout. So here's the About You section. This is the simple place where you're going to put your contact information. You want to, put your name and put where you live, and then put an accurate phone number. The phone needs to be accessible to you. You don't need it to be your mom's phone that you share or whichever, but you just need to make sure that you can access it easily. And that if it has a voicemail, that the voicemail box number, and you can access it if an employer were to call you and ask for some additional interview processing things. And then also the email, that's necessary, especially now. Email is very vital because your resume is put on paper first, and then it moves forward onto the interview process. I know it's frustrating, especially if you don't hold a lot of computer skills, because everything is very computerized, and the email and everything is, all saying you're sending resume through email or uploading on job websites and things like that. But it's very necessary to have an email, especially a professional email. So you don't want it to have, funny words that represent your personality, or an old email that has to do with, a interest you have. You just want for it to come across in a professional manner. Maybe it just has your name, and then it has maybe some numbers on it, and then it can be at Gmail, or it can be at yahoo.com, or at AOL, or all sorts like that. If you don't have a professional email, you can easily create one on Gmail, which is utilizing Google. They have a Google account, Gmail, that you can set up very easily. So go ahead and set that professional email up. So like we said, this contact information, it just needs to be valid. That way they can contact you easily, and it'll be at the top of the page. All right, so there's the About You section. Now let's get into the summary. So like I said, each one of these sections has the lady that will talk to you about each section and what they represent. So for the summary, this is where you're going to describe yourself and the position you're currently seeking. This can be done in a short paragraph, bullet points, or both. So this individual chose to put it in a very organized paragraph form. They are letting the employer know exactly what their goal is. So this individual says, my objective is to obtain a position as a customer service representative that helps contribute to others and allows me to use my skills in education. I seek a career that works alongside a company that has integrity and respect for employers and clients and optimizes customer service satisfaction and growth. So that's a pretty generic statement. If the individual wanted to really dissect what they would want to put in their objective, and if they wanted it to pertain directly to what the job posting says, they might incorporate some key words. They might immediately go ahead and put, my objective is to work as, you know, they went ahead and put the job title and say, customer service agent at Global Industries working in Longview, Texas. And you could make it so catered directly to the job posting. That way they see that you touched your resume and you wanted it to reflect all the keywords that the job posting says. And so you just want your resume to jump off the page. And so you just put that organized, make sure your grammar's good, make sure periods are where they need to be, capitalizations, all of that matters because you're trying to convey a message and you want to be professional and you want it to be branded and literate. And we're going to discuss the general skills. This is where it's going to add those general skills or your industry specific skills on the next slide. All right. So skills or knowledge. This is where you're going to incorporate all skills, all knowledge involved with your industry and your occupation. This individual, we chose general skills. Obviously, customer service represents so many things. So this one put some generic soft skills. They put excellent organizational skills and attention to detail, punctual, detail-oriented, ability to work well in teams, skilled in problem solving and time management, you know, Microsoft Office software, management experience. Also, if you had issues with kind of trying to create some of these skills, some helpful websites would be utilizing some labor market websites. A helpful labor market website, if you're writing notes, would be mynextmove.org. That is a very helpful website for you to look at all sorts of aspects of the job you're looking at. So it creates all the labor market, the ins and outs, the job duties, the definition of those careers, and it's just really helpful. So feel free to gain even more skills to be able to incorporate into this part of your resume. And again, that's mynextmove.org, don't put .com. It's connected to ONET online. All right, so we're moving forward with this. So now we have the education part. This is going to incorporate any schools you've attended, any degrees awarded, maybe you have some tech school, some certifications. So you're going to incorporate all of that. So you're just going to put the name of the school, when did you graduate, and then put the type of what you studied, or the and then also just the location and the different things that you did there. A lot of times I like to always tell individuals, even if you just have some college or just some experience with being educated or just going to a weekend seminar or certain things, you gained knowledge in those areas. You might not have obtained some immediate certifications and degrees, but you gained knowledge, you took direction from someone, you probably worked in a group with someone and was able to gain a lot more information on that you can use moving forward in that occupation. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, don't pigeonhole yourself to being like, I don't have this, I never finished that school, I never did that. Don't pigeonhole yourself. You gained and learned, and that's the whole idea. And so you can incorporate all of those things, especially that's why we developed a functional resume, because this allows you to hone in on certain skills, and it doesn't have to be so cut and dry. We can incorporate what we've learned, even if you might not have eventually obtained officially that degree. And so a lot of employers today just hone in on the soft skills. And then of course, you know, it depends on the industry. You know, you definitely have to know how to be a nurse. You definitely have to know how to operate a certain type of equipment. So obviously those things speak for themselves. But a lot of times employers just want an individual that has soft skills, able to be trained, able to take direction, and then are able to, you know, just move forward and learn what that company wants. And so just keep that in mind as you're incorporating all these things into your resume. So now we have the education taken care of. And so now this is where that work experience is going to go into play. Any work or internship experience can be entered here. Enter the company name, the number of years you worked for the company, and describe your duties and responsibilities. So like we were saying, this is where you can incorporate any type of experience. So skill experience, it could be, you know, but it needs to cater directly to that type of job. So make sure you're following the guidelines of building different types of resumes. So this individual is going to be catering work experience in customer service. And a lot of times, maybe it might be a high school student, you know, they've obviously just been educated their whole life. They've never actually gotten the opportunity to ever get on the job. So that's that would be the individual trying to incorporate internships or incorporate, you know, volunteering, things like that. That way they can see somebody, you know, is trainable. And so this is where you're going to incorporate, and then each type of work experience. And as you can see at the bottom, you just press the plus sign, and then you can add another employment position. Like I said previously, just keep in mind, you need to remember those start dates and ending dates as best you can. And notice how this one doesn't say, why did you leave? You know, that kind of thing. But just keep in mind, depending on the template that you decided to keep, to create, especially the job application is going to ask those specific questions. So you want to always be honest on why you left somewhere, and just understand that you want that work experience to speak for you in a positive way, and remember managers' names and things like that. That way they can reflect good work experience for you to be employed for a new company. All right. So now is our fifth section. Now we have certifications, license, and volunteering. So this individual wanted to incorporate some volunteering. This is where those certifications, like we talked about, OSHA 30, I know our WIOA program, we have that specific program with our workforce. And those are certain employable avenues for people to get some quick work readiness training. So OSHA 30 could be one that you could obtain and put on your resume. That way it can reflect knowledge and safety, and it can, you know, back safety, all things in the workplace, chemical spills. So that's one that can reflect in all sorts of industries. Maybe you have some software skills, some computer skills that you want to incorporate. Certain companies have certain types of software that they use, so you would definitely want to put that. Also, you can incorporate putting what other skill building options are offered through Workforce. So it's under our WIOA, it's under the umbrella of WIOA. It is Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And so they offer, you know, once we get to start incorporating things again, without this COVID-19 pandemic kind of creating a disarray of it. But normally we'd have like OSHA 30 classes, we'd have Microsoft Office classes. I know there's a customer service type work readiness training as well. And also we and they have career advisors that assist. They have career advisors that assist you if you were to want to go to school. So there's training programs for that too. So go to easttexasworkforce.org to find out more information on that. All right. What do we have here? Yeah, so yeah, computer skills. Those aren't offered online. I know you can, in regards to I know the OSHA 30 isn't offered online. I know our contractor, I don't imagine they've been able to create a type of webinar situation for it to be valid enough to be able to get an OSHA certification. I know WIOA, you can look up our PowerPoints on what that's offered on our easttexasworkforce.org website. That would just depend directly on the school and things like that. But I know our trainings are not online, nor is the OSHA 30. So just keep that in mind, but things might be moving forward because we're already creating such a virtual presence. So just keep an eye out. Who knows? Things might be changing. So, all right. So, like I said, certifications, license, or volunteering. If it has anything to do with that job, and especially if you knew that there had to be a certain type of license needed for that job, you need to put that here. And, you know, if that license expires, things like that, that's needed as well. Volunteering also, I always like for individuals to know that company. Maybe you went to look at the website and kind of got ideas on what that company's all about. You know, if they're involved with the community, it probably means they're volunteering and getting involved with certain things. So, you know, just, you know, opening those things up and into a bigger picture, you know, your resume could reflect some volunteering things too, if you thought that that would be what the company would want. So incorporate those things. Maybe you have some special skills. Maybe you're fluent in Spanish. Maybe you're fluent in some things for bilingual ideas like that. Especially in Texas, that would be a helpful thing for sure. So incorporate those items that you think will get you the job. That's the whole intent. You want to get into the interview process. All right. So we've done each of the sections. And so now we've completed all 5 sections. So now all we have to do is select a template design. They have each one of these template designs. All you have to do is click it, select the one you want, and then create design. And then it'll populate for you. And then you have a beautiful resume ready to go. Maybe you're going to go to a job fair. Maybe you're going to email it to an employer. Maybe you're going to immediately start applying for jobs. Keep in mind, once you create this resume, go ahead and download it to somewhere that you can access it easily. So maybe email it to yourself, download it to documents on your phone, put it on a USB drive, like a thumb drive that you can easily access it. If you didn't have use of a computer, you had to go to a friend's house or the library or something like that. You need to be able to access your resume easily and print off some if you were to go to job fairs. And so that way you can easily upload it, especially since all the jobs are online. So say you were in our workintexas.com job searching site and you were wanting to apply for a job, and it said, please send email to, you know, and they gave you the company web email, you could easily upload it and be ready to go and applying for jobs easily. You just have to get over the hurdle of creating a resume. And it's not a hurdle if it's simple 5 parts. You just need to, you know who you are, you know what you have to offer, but now you have to put it on paper so that way individuals can see what you have to offer as you're moving forward into the finding a job. So as you can see, this is very organized and simple in format. They immediately can see the person's name very bold at the top, and each objective is you know, capitalized. There's bullet points that are simple to follow. You want to think in the seat of an employer. Would you hire you? would you hire you as an individual? So you always just want to think in terms of that. You know, in this day and age, the, you know, a hiring authority is looking for two things. You know, actual, number one, they're looking for actual facts that indicate your qualifications, your educational background, your employment history, and maybe your social activities, like we mentioned, the volunteering. And then two, they're looking for patterns reflecting different aspects of your character or skills, maybe some leadership abilities, maybe an individual who takes initiative and things of that nature. So you want all of those things to reflect in this resume. All right. Is there any questions so far about each one of those parts? I know I was talking about different things. Will Texas Workforce look at our resumes and provide feedback? Are you talking about in regards to us as staff? I mean, you could contact our workforce and ask a facilitator or maybe a certain career advisor if you just wanted them to answer questions. If you were to build your resume, you can call and just say, I just need somebody to look at my resume, please. I mean, I know in our regular daily, you know, when we had workshops in and out, we had facilitators directly working with individuals that they could sit down and say, okay, can you please put a red pen to my resume, make sure I did it correctly? And there are individuals that could do that for you, as long as you could email it easily. I'll show you here towards the end how you could contact us. So feel free, if you wanted somebody to look at your resume, we could easily contact you back. That way you can receive that feedback. So conclusion, let's go ahead and read it really quick. Building your resume is a necessary step in moving forward towards new opportunities. The CareerEdgeEastTexas.com website has a lot to offer you as a job seeker. If you take advantage of these exceptional resume building tools, it can help you with finding the job you desire and set you up on a path driven towards success. And that's what we want. And so we're here to help you every step of the way. So let's look at the, that way you can jot down our how to contact us. So any questions, I'm looking at the chat, so feel free to ask any additional questions. But thank you for participating today. Y'all are awesome. This has been a very engaging presentation so far. So we really, really appreciate y'all for choosing us. So here's some additional resources. Go ahead and jot these down. For more upcoming webinar trainings, please go to our easttexasworkforce.org. Some of you might have found us on social media. So Facebook has us, Instagram has us, LinkedIn. They're populating to where you can immediately put an RSVP, set a reminder on Facebook. It'll remind you and say 11 o'clock on Monday, you know, there's going to be a managing change in attitude webinar, and I want to be there to look at it. Maybe you're participating in a program with the workforce and you want to be able to partake in these webinars, but feel free for sure. And so easttexasworkforce.org, especially individuals who asked about WIOA or any types of potential trainings with work readiness, there's those on there. Look under the job seekers tab and you can find out everything about us. And like I said, you can find us on all social media networks. Okay, so here's the contact us, especially for those of you who might want to have us look at your resume. Like we have our website there, and then if you wanted to call us directly, keep in mind everybody, you know, a lot of times people get confused thinking we are Texas Workforce Commission, thinking we're the unemployment. Obviously, we have millions of individuals that are unemployed, and so they are calling us as well, but we're trying to guide them towards the unemployment, but we're also answering all questions in regards to what the workforce has to offer. So that is our direct call center, 844-389-6757, or our email, call center mailbox at easttexasworkforce.org. workforce.org. So that's a generic mailbox that is going to be able to be utilized right now. If you are already maybe working with a career advisor, you could contact them directly. If I'm interested in working with your agency, any suggestions? Yeah. I would probably brush up on understanding what our programs entail. If you're a facilitator or you have career advising experience, a lot of times individuals have, you know, knowledge on our government programs. Maybe you've worked in SNAP or TANF programs, things like that. So that's great. So there's a lot of opportunities. I would say use workintexas.com. I know that there's job postings throughout on there, especially if you're looking for work. We also have a navigating Work in Texas. If you don't know how to do that, I facilitate that one. And so those webinars are going to be upgraded throughout. I know this quarantine time is going through May so far. And so we're going to continue to have different webinars. But feel free to ask any questions. You know, call the call center, email us, and just any questions you might have. Did everybody get this? Are y'all good with that? Okay. Okay, take a picture of it if you had your phone or something. But this is how to contact us right now. And like I said, that email, if you want to send a resume and just say, can I have somebody look at it? They'll know exactly how to direct someone. All right. Survey, please. We love to receive your opinion. People love to give opinions, so we want them. So your opinion matters to us. So just please take a few moments regarding, you know, what this presentation meant to you, and write down that surveymonkey.com little URL, or if you had your phone, you could do this little QR code. That way we can get different people's opinions on how these webinars, how helpful they are to you. We really appreciate it. We're all working hard at trying to provide content for all of you, so we're excited about it for sure. But yeah, but so far, if there's, is there any other questions? Because we are at the end of our presentation. So I'm looking at the chat once again. But if there's no questions, we will conclude. And this will be accessible on easttexasworkforce.org. Thank you very much. I'm very thankful that all of you joined us today. Miss Donna, Mr. Paul, Mr. Winston, y'all are great. Thank you so much. Go to easttexasworkforce.org, and we thank you so much for participating today. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day.